Welcome everyone to another audio recording in the IsetTheMic series. This one is entitled Ghosted. I'm in a communal space where someone asked the question, have you done it? Why has it happened to you? And how do you deal with ghosting? I'm going to share what my response is, and I'm going to highlight some of the things that were mentioned by some of the other people that responded without divulging their privacy. I said, yes, in my early 20s, I have ghosted people because I did not know how to communicate what was wrong. I didn't realize the effects it caused because I had been ghosted in the past, and at that time, I thought it was just how it's supposed to be. Now I know better, and I do my best to communicate and invite them to discuss things towards resolution with me within their capacity. Unfortunately, not everyone is interested in that, and all I can do is respect their boundaries. If I truly care about the person, it saddens me, and I mourn the relationship for a long time, so I don't deal with it well. I hate that I ever ghosted anyone and that it's happened to me. I have contacted some people in the past to apologize and explain why I did that, and I'm thankful they accepted my apology and understood. Now, I want to really express that I understand that this topic is very sensitive for some people, and I as well used to be in the framework of how I was very sensitive for me. As I shared, when I ghosted, it was because at that time I felt that I was not good enough, I was not worthy, and I also did not want to cause any more harm to the people that I cared about. In my mind, their life would be better without me, and I did not know how to articulate that. I didn't have the language for that. There are times where we feel things and we don't know how to communicate what we're feeling, but we know that we're feeling certain things. What I will also mention here is we're not talking about ghosting in the context of abuse and violation against your boundaries and all those different things. So if you are in an abusive relationship with someone, that is not considered ghosting when you leave. That is considered self-preservation, self-protection, and doing what you need to do in relationships is such a thing. When it comes to people that ghost because they are manipulative, they are controlling, they need to have the last word, they want to cause harm intentionally because they discover pleasure from harming others in whatever way that is. We're not talking about those kinds of people that ghost either. That's a whole different category of people that, in my opinion, we don't need to be in relationship with, because people that are trying to control you and take away your autonomy are not, to me, people that are the best people to be in relationship with, because that is a violation of your autonomy and your boundaries. Now, what I will offer and say is that it was brought up that someone said that they use journaling to counteract how it brings up the feelings of abandonment and all the different things and the approaches that they took to address when someone is ghosting them. And I think that is a really great approach, because when you journal, it allows you the opportunity, whether you write things down or you use your journaling through your voice, is to account for what is coming up for you. What are you experiencing? What does this make you feel? What stories are you creating around the ghosting? What is it connected to? How far back can you remember what ghosting has done and all the different things? It also allows you to put down into clarity, well, what were all the things going on in this relationship or connection prior to the ghosting, so you can kind of have a visual or auditory sense of what actually transpired prior to the disappearance and the ghosting of the person. The other thing is that when you're thinking about people that have certain types of anxieties or certain types of distinctions in their attention, they could be socially awkward, introverted. Some people are going through depression and sadness. I reserve a special space of understanding for that, because when you don't have the tools and you don't know how, it doesn't matter how old you are. Some people are arrested in their development and they are trapped in a certain type of trauma, and they're doing the best thing that they know how to do to protect themselves and to preserve their peace. So what I think about is, because I've ghosted people in the past, I don't have the right to necessarily be upset when I'm being ghosted and I'm experiencing it. I do my best to put myself in the position, in the shoes of others, and think about, well, who was that person? Who do I know that person to be before that person ghosted me? and to exist in a space of understanding that even though I'm experiencing the ghosting, it doesn't necessarily have to be about me. Then the other thing is, if it is about me, that the person is ghosting me because of something I did or didn't do, and they don't have the ability to communicate that to me, then I also understand that, because again, people are doing what they know to do because it's what's best for them. And my thing is, when I love people, I want them to do what is best for them. So if me not being a part of their life is what's best for them, then no matter how sad I may feel and may mourn the loss of that physical connection, being able to be present with them and be able to converse with them and share space with them, I have to respect their boundaries, that they have to remove themselves because that is what's best for them. The other thing is that I think about that I already shared the not applicable, not available. I had to create this category for my own sense of peace, for me to be able to move forward. So when I don't really know why something is happening, why someone is doing what they're doing, I just put it in the not applicable, not available category until I'm able to get more information. And if I never get any more information, then it just stays in the not applicable, not available, because I do not want to create stories around why people are doing what they're doing if I don't concretely, tangibly know from out of their mouths, this is why they're doing what they're doing. The other thing that it comes to think about is when someone says, well, why would someone, be affected or feel a way because someone ghosted and stopped talking to them if you only know them for a little while? My response to that is that we all connect with people in a distinct way. And so that means that some people do not have an issue with being able to walk away from people. It doesn't matter how long they've known them or not. It's about their level of attachment and the way that they perceive certain things. And so they're able to do this. Other people have a sense of attachment and a sense of expectation to people, places, and things. So that's why it is hard and challenging where there's a grieving of a loss, because you have intentions, you have expectations, there's things that you wanted to build and all those things with people. Also, when you think about it, we invest a certain time and energy and we share ourselves with people. And so when people just disappear, it doesn't matter how long you've known them. When you finally feel like you've met your person in whatever context that is, it hurts when they're gone. In a similar way that if a person transitioned and died out of their physical body, because you're no longer able to converse with them in that space. Another thing that comes to mind is when a person says, well, what else can they do in terms of ghosting? That's the only option. It makes me think of when we are existing in a job or a dwelling, there is a letter of notice or a letter of resignation that is required so that the person that is in charge of this position, in charge of this dwelling, is aware that you will be leaving and why you are leaving. Sometimes these people, once they get this letter of notice or letters of resignation, can have a conversation with you and be able to see, well, okay, I see that these things are not working out for you in this position or in this place, and here's how I'm able to counter that. I can offer this and this can change in order to keep you here because we value you, we care about you, and we want you to stay in this position or in this dwelling. And we understand that sometimes there's nothing a person can do on the other side because the individual has to make the best decision for themselves, whatever that is. And also there's the thing that I get, that some of us have been in jobs or dwellings and perhaps we just left. We didn't give any letter of notice. We didn't give any letter of resignation, perhaps because we were being abused in that space, being disrespected, all those different things. Or at that time we were just like, oh, it doesn't matter. So these are some of the things I would want to offer to see if you all have thought about these things or to look at things in a different way. It is also important to remember that whatever actions people are doing in their lives, even if a person tells you, F you, I don't like you, you're a bad person, I hate you, you need to, as the individual, hold yourself in your own accountability and own responsibility of your own feelings and your own knowing of who you are. Because when we allow people to erode our knowing and to speak to us or speak about us in a way where now we're left feeling vacant and empty and unworthy and all these different things, then that is going to be harmful to our holistic selves and our mental health. So you need to remember that your value is not placed in how people treat you and how people regard you, or how people don't treat you and people don't regard you. Self-love, self-awareness, is a part of your own self-actualization. So that is why when we enter into these connections and relationships, we're able to be whole and complete. Lastly, I will share in my own personal experience, when I was dating someone, we were together in a relationship that we both acknowledged and we both agreed upon. It was very hurtful for me when I realized that I had been ghosted, because we had experienced a misunderstanding and another misunderstanding and another misunderstanding, and understandably so. We were long distance and we're newly getting to know each other. My life is lifing, their life is lifing. All these things were happening at once. And when I reached out to them, I had felt that they were going to ghost me. And so my response to them was, I was worried about you, haven't heard from you in a while. And I just wanted you to know that if and ever you're ready to communicate with me going forward, let me know. However, I won't be contacting you again because, I want to respect your boundaries, kind of thing. And so they responded to me, yeah, they're going through something. When they get over it, they will reach out to me and we'll have a conversation. And unfortunately, that never happened. That person never reached out to me. While we are long distance, I have the ability to see that they have moved on and that at the surface, everything appears well. I don't know if in the depths behind the scenes, if they are experiencing other things that is preventing them from reaching out or whatever the case may be. But what I'm choosing to do is not allow myself to remain in a space of upset and frustration and anger and creating stories around that person. I have love and care and respect for that person, and I wish them well. And I'm the kind of person where it doesn't matter how much time has passed. When I care about you, you have the capacity to reach out to me and have a conversation towards resolution. I am this way because when I needed that from others, they were there for me. Case in point, I don't know when these series of recordings are going to be out, but as I said, there's a recording that I'm going to put out there called Mommy and Daddy Thank You. And that is kind of explaining what it looks like when you forgive and when you communicate after the fact and all those different things. So I intend that this was helpful for you all. NeuroDistinct, sentient ones, a luminous odyssey as you embraced your nature. It has the roots to restore you. I am Iset, and I set the mic.